Welcome to my Wings of Liberty ladder games, where normally I would be playing the very macro-centric style, which is the good old style that a lot of Wings players like, but right now it is our placement, so it is time to dick around. This is 2015's sort of mid-year ladder change. They reset the ladders to give everyone 5 placements. They did change the ladder system, but I don't know if they reset the ladder points, the MMR points. But I will be playing all my placement with mass queens, just because, well, 5 placement means I could potentially be getting a reset in MMR, which means I can get away with this stupid shit like this. Now, just to be clear, I'm not doing this out of spite like I do in the garbage game, only silly shit, I'll dick around all day. I'm just doing this because this is one of the last chances I'll get in Wings of Liberty, or if one of the, well, I guess it just happened to be a chance I get at Wings of Liberty to have fun instead of try and play as best as I can. And StarCraft really should be about having fun. We kind of forget that when we just sort of play a lot. And then winning becomes more important. Although there are certain lows which I will never stoop for wins. One, of course, is to abandon my macro-heavy style into a completely micro-centric style. I'll forgive Blink Soccer users and I will forgive Phoenix users for PvP, because PvP is sort of, you can't sort of do that anymore. It's just a thing about PvP. So I will be playing Wings of Liberty using these fun styles. Let's see what my opponent is going to be playing. Terran. Now, Terran is actually really good against mass queens because their unit models are small, so they will have a large area of damage, or large damage per area, which is one of the less discussed theories of damage in StarCraft. What I mean by that is the Stalkers are actually terrible against stemmed Marines because of the fact that their unit model is so large, not because Stalkers themselves are actually shit. So I did actually go against scouting because when you're going mass queens, you kind of don't need to scout. What I mean by that is not that mass queens deals with everything equally, but we already set our strategy to be mass queens, so we're not going to adapt that to anything that our opponent is doing. So that's basically why scouting is worthless, and getting that extra minerals might be helpful for queen builders. So let's talk a little bit about the ladder changes. I'm all for Blizzard experimenting with the new ladder system, trying to get rid of things. Something they changed that sort of impacts us is the removal of the MMR decay. Now, I don't exactly agree with that, but then again, I don't agree with a lot of things they do. Missile trucks, everything was fucking Legacy of the Void. That's what I call a shitstorm and not a game. I really should get some cough medicine. But yes. So that's something we're going to be doing. And while I was coughing and shitting on the game, I actually forgot my gas. But then again, this could potentially be a rather easy game, so don't exactly know what to expect here. First placement usually is easy. Also, something I've always wanted to do is see how far I can get by massing queens. I'm predicting something along the lines of Silver League. Now, I am going for gas first because queens rely heavily on upgrades. That's sort of what makes the queens good. The queens are good because of their heal and also because of the upgrades. So we're gonna get that. I'm gonna do one extractor trick because I forgot the Overlord. Kind of why the resource was high there. Not gonna go for Zergling speed because we are doing mass queens. Now, scouting is important, but I feel like it's not as important in this game. So let's go ahead and get the drones. Good thing about mass queens is that you can go for a 0 larva injects because you will be having a lot of production from the hatcheries for producing queens. Although I will be using the first larva injects. Probably should have used it there instead. See, this setup allows me to get a little bit more creep, faster creep spread, but connecting the bases, so a little bit less defensive. So I'm gonna be getting that. I do like carapace first. Even though dead units don't make other units dead. It's just something that I like. Yes, I get it. Overlords. I'm too used to using control group 0 as my queens. So a little bit of a screw up on the hotkeys right there. I'll be getting a second gas geyser because I will be following up with the second evolution chamber, and I feel like the gas is not going to keep up with the layer. So our queen count is looking good. Now, something about queens is that you need the creep spread in order to do anything, basically. So number one, you'll be working on your creep spread quite heavily, and number two, it makes overlord speed, something that is very important in getting. Now, he haven't scouted me yet, which makes me think that he's either doing something really cheesy or he's not a high-level player. Now, if they indeed did reset the ladder system, then that's to be expected, since I will be probably playing my placements against bronze. But who knows? I was pretty high on the ladder before. So I'm actually going to make 0 of anything else, including static defense. I might have to readjust that later on based on what I have. Okay, so let's add more production in the form of hatcheries, because producing queens. Oh, there's the Marine Scout, which makes me think that he's not actually that great. Yeah, I think this is actually a good game for Mass Queens. So I do like to follow up with an instant evolution chamber because, actually a Hellion Harass. Okay, I take that back. Maybe he isn't that bad. To be able to bring out 5 Hellions at 8 minutes. Yeah, this is actually good. This is actually not good, because my units are out of position, so I can't actually defend this, and the second round of queens is actually really, really far from being done. I might actually lose all the drones. I mean, he did kill quite a few of them. I don't exactly want to take back what I said about no static defense right now. Don't want that. How many queens do I have queued up? I'll probably exchange some of that for hatcheries. I mean, this guy is definitely no diamond, but he does play like someone that's better than bronze. Okay, so we got that going on, which is good. I'm gonna start getting the Overlord speed because I need that to do stuff. Also need to push up with this to sort of spread creep that way. Now, creep does give you map vision, which is really great, and I feel like that's something that's necessary for queens, because they do take a while to get around. Now, the bad thing about this queen build is that you're going to be lacking map vision, which means you won't know what your opponent is doing, and also you lack the ability to put on any pressure. What is that, siege tanks? Siege tanks... He doesn't have +1. Okay, so he just lost a bunch of stuff, and what he did there makes me think that he's not exactly the best player.
Our forces are under attack.
Yeah, he's definitely not... He's not bad, but he's not great. What he's doing well is he's applying a lot of things that people should be doing, but he's not exactly, like, yes, he's hunting overlords, that's good. But he's not exactly, like, doing anything else well. He's not macroing well behind that. His unit composition is rather unorthodox and inefficient. He has a lot of tanks, but he doesn't have anything to screen for the tanks. So there's a lot of things he could be doing better. And I feel like a lot of his basic mechanics are falling behind his standard things, like macroing and unit composition, which are more important. Well, at least if you want wins. So I do feel like we might have got a reset. He pulled the tanks back. So what I'll do now is I'll actually get the upgrade for this.
Spawn more overlords.
Okay, so we got the overlords going, which is good because that allows us to push out. Oh yeah, we can scout with overlords. I forgot about that. Mouse accuracy is abysmal as usual. This does give us a little bit faster creep spread, and also freedom of movement, which is good. Okay, that's actually a sizable army moving out right now. Although his composition is rather weak. He has no upgrades. I'm not actually worried about the siege tanks at this point, although I probably should be. That's good. We managed to crush that army, and everything is still alive. Most importantly, our overlords are alive, which is good. And also, the reinforcing queens are here, so that's also good. I'm actually going to bring over the overlords and hold this position as far as we can, and then try to do a queen drop. It's a good thing that the Viking acted as a actually the overlords acted as a retard magnet to bring down that Viking, because the Viking can actually shut down, even one Viking can actually shut down queen drops quite heavily. So we got more overlords over here. Just slacking a little bit on the upgrades right now. It's not exactly a game-ending problem. We do have this build-up. That's good. I think we brought enough overlords. That's good. Okay, so this is actually the queen drop that I do in multiplayer. That's very fun. You'll spread creep with your overlords, and then you drop queens. And then basically, even if they defeat all the queens, you're still going to have creep in their base. So that's actually something that's really annoying to deal with. I don't know what he's going to say about this. He got a Raven? Really? Why would he get a Raven in this situation? Well, we managed to do that well. And let's actually see what rank he is, because judging from his play, I would give him probably a silver or a gold. He did go unranked, but he could have potentially played before. Seems like he was a gold before. So what I'm gonna do now is since I'm going to be going mass queens a lot, I'm actually going to go to my portraits and not make this a surprise by changing my portrait to the queen. Which, if I can find it, it'll be somewhere around here. It's one of the bad things of having a lot of portraits. You can't find the one you want. Ah, there it is.